Hey y'all. So today is Saturday, January the 20th. I'm looking up in my calendar to make sure I got the date right. I am in my home office slash guest bedroom, even though it's not a bed in here yet, slash studio, right? That's right, studio. So welcome to Embrace You with Dr. Rae. I just love that when I pour into people, they pour back into me. I mean, that's just saying a lot. Like, I find myself, I love promoting people's businesses, people I know, people I don't know, especially women, especially Black women. I used to do it in St. Louis. Now I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I just left an event. It was an opening, a business opening, a nonprofit launch for one of my sorority sisters. Her name is Vicki Williams Collier. The name of her organization is the Caring Hearts Foundation. It is a food pantry, a food bank. She has supplies for mothers with new babies, and she also has clothing. So an additional resource right here in North Tulsa. You don't have to be a North Tulsan resident in order to reap the benefits of her organization. So today I was there with her and another sorority sister, and then also another one of Vicky's friends. And when I tell you, I showed up just to celebrate her and her achievement, her business. But when I tell you they started pouring back into me, because I like taking pictures and videos and getting footage in order to share out, promote. They were like, girl, you need to be doing this as your career, your business full time. And I was like, you know what, y'all right. I always joke around. Sometimes we can joke ourselves into a good thing or a bad thing. We have to be careful with our words. But this is something I enjoy doing, almost like a hobby. But how many know that, our hobby can really be our thing? And just like I was telling them about my current job and like what I do working with young adults as a career coach, helping them get connected with educational training and job placement, job development, career development, resumes. I've done a lot of these things over the last pretty much almost 10 years in my career, working in nonprofit, working with young adults. And so, I'm really proud to be able to say that, it found me, so my supervisor had us, answered the question the other day, what is your why? So I was doing a little bit of writing, and I was just saying that I feel like this industry found me. Check out a recent article that I was featured on an online Dallas, Texas magazine called Voyage Dallas. Such a blessing. Another lady out of Houston who is just, she gonna be my mentor. She just don't know it yet. Her name is Shannon Savoy. And I just remember I had been following her on YouTube. The name of her business is, I'm sorry, Shannon, I'm not doing it any justice. I don't like misquoting, right? She has the Chain Breaker University. And so I met her in person last year when I went to Tiffany Montgomery's Millions Conference. And when I tell you, I was out there just fanning out because there were a lot of Christian influencers, people who are YouTubers all over the internet who I had been following. They were there. And I said, that was God telling me I'm right. I was right where I needed to be in that moment down in Houston back in April, end of April, 1st of May of last year. And so Shannon submitted my name to this magazine sometime last year, and in the midst of my move, I didn't get the questionnaire filled out. I finally, when I went home to see my parents over the Christmas break, I finally completed it. And I was just like, had my parents kind of listening to my responses, and they were like, everything you're saying is exactly what happened. I thank God for my parents because they were there for me. I was like maybe 31 years old when I finished graduate school. And so my beginning of my career, when I first graduated undergrad, I actually Graduated from Langston University, worked at Langston University. My bachelor's is in business administration, but I decided, I wanted to obtain my master's in education so that I could continue just working in higher education. I worked in the computer technology lab, which was for faculty and staff. And so I was like, I like being in higher ed, right? And so that was my first opportunity to get some teaching experience, basically doing training and development for staff. And it's like, God, he'll set us up. God can see the end from the beginning. We can't always see it, right? And so, and a lot of my jobs, I've always like rolled my eyes because I'll be like, oh my God, I got to be at work at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. It don't matter what time. I struggle in that. And so I know that I'm meant to be an entrepreneur, even as you can ask my mom. Those are some more stories for another day. When I was a child, making and selling things. Like, I've always been drawn to entrepreneurship. But additionally, I've always been good at writing. At one point, and I talk about this in the Love Yourself, Love Your Life handbook. And I talk about how at one point I wanted to change my major over to broadcast journalism. I thought, well, if you just pick a degree program, you have to just go with that. I didn't know I could have just got a minor or, took another year and, studied journalism and media. And everybody's like, well, you already have the name, Rachel Rivers. And I'm just like, whatever, Rachel Rivers reporting live. So this afternoon when I went over to my soror's business opening, they were like, you're good at this. They're like, you got the name. They were like, is this your real name, Rachel Rivers? I'm like, yes. And a lot of times people, they call me Rachel Rivers. They can't just call me Rachel. But I just feel like these ladies pouring into me tonight, it just confirms some things that, have already been working on in the background or in my mind or on paper. And the Embrace You with Dr. Rae podcast is on Anchor. And I started that during the pandemic. But I know that the wave of podcasts is through YouTube. And I do have a YouTube channel. And so Embrace You with Dr. Rae is something that, I wanted to start interviewing people for that podcast. And I had my first guest. I'm going to have to go back and revisit that. He's in St. Louis, tossing Ted, because the podcast is really all about self-love. It's all about entrepreneurship and how different people have navigated, their careers and, having a 9-to-5, being an entrepreneur. So this podcast is going to be all things Dr. Rae, spirituality. We're going to pray. We're going to have all kind of things, right? But it's all about, 2024. You've been hearing people say 2024 is the year of more. And I have another friend, and we have some ideas of things that we want to bring to the podcast as well. And he was like, he's in Oklahoma City. He was like, 2024. I actually ran into him when I went to Houston. So it's like, God will just align you. He gives us these hints along the way. And we just act like, God, I wish I could be an entrepreneur. I wish I had my own talk show, the Dr. Rae Show, and wishing and hoping, but not putting no actions behind nothing. And like I was telling the ladies this afternoon, they were like, it's not too late for you to pursue this, PR media thing. And they're right. It's easier now because we have social media. And so the thing about it is being consistent, getting a real production team, because y'all know this is me and my iPhone and this little ring light, but I know that's how some people get started. And so, hey, just got to do it, right? And when the viewership picks up, that's how people are actually getting paid through social media, through YouTube, through TikTok, getting them checks. You saw what happened with the Cat Williams interview with Shannon Sharp. I spend a lot of time scrolling on YouTube, but that's where I get my news. That's where I get my celebrity tea and gossip. Like a lot of those gossip channels, they have a lot of views. That's not really my content area. I'm really more about, let's meet people who we don't know. Let's meet people in our local community, right? And, maybe it'll build on later on for celebrities. But it's like all of us are really celebrities in our own right if we have a presence here on these social media platforms. At least we think we are, right? Insta famous. But I'm just excited for my 2024. Thank you to everyone who's been with me on this journey since I started this YouTube channel back in, I want to say 2012. 2011 was when I wrote my first book. And it's always been about love, dating, and relationships, right? And so definitely, I've been talking about this book. I'm like, girl, if you don't sit down and just write that book. But it's like being a musician, I never just want to just put something out there, just to be putting something out there. And we've seen some of our favorite artists, some of their work that when they just put something out there, like that wasn't his or her best work. It was okay. Some of us might just be diehard fans and just support whatever they put out because we love them and we've been with them since whatever, 1995, right? And it's almost like, as an author, a nonfiction author, whatever I write about is really based on my life and my journey. So it's kind of like wherever I am at that point. I've been in some low points, I've been in some high points, and it's just like I moved here and I've been having to get settled in. I've been here 6 months, still not all the way quite settled, meaning still not really unpacked. Like this office, I can only show y'all this one little view. But it's coming together. It's coming along. I love my house. I got a little land. So that's exciting. I don't own it. I'm renting, but one day, that's, I'm not here to teach about financial literacy. But maybe I will have some friends I can bring on the show to talk to us about, how they have built their fortunes and things so that we can learn. So, my content is always going to be educational. And like I said, thank y'all for watching. And I will be sharing some of the footage from today, Vicky's opening for Caring Hearts Foundation. Thank y'all for hanging with me, and stay tuned for more content from Dr. Rae Love Coach. I'm still a love coach. Look, I'm still a love coach. And I've had people challenge me. People, I want to say men, you ain't no love coach, blah, blah, blah. You gonna get exposed. I ain't never said I was perfect. Okay? Ain't nobody perfect. And I think that's why the people who've been rocking with me since 2011, 2012, they still rock with me, because I've always been authentic. I always speak from a place of, look, y'all, this is what I'm going through, and I can also speak from some of the things that I've overcome, and a lot of my friends that's in my circle, they're like, we see the growth. Some of the people that's been rocking with me, this is 12 years now. We see the growth, and there should be growth from 33 to 43, right? So we just want to thank God, for more in 2024. For this being a breakout year, for this being the year for us to be able to secure grants for business, for this being the year for us to be able to monetize on all of our gifts and talents. All right. And so I love you guys. I don't think I have anything else to say. I had made like a little funny video. I haven't shared it yet about, I think that I have been dating heathens for the last 20 years, 25 maybe years. I'm 43 and I've had a couple relationships, right? But I'm talking about when you're just dating, and it's different when, I have to say that last December, I participated in the Year of the Bride Fast with the Cover by God ministry, which is Tiffany Montgomery's ministry. That was my first time ever doing a biblical fast. And I didn't make it for the full 25 days, but I still learned a lot in that experience. It made me feel good. It made me feel healthy. The body resets when you're fasting. And so we were fasting for our husbands and for our mate. And so haven't met that person yet. But, God knows the desires of my heart. God knows the desires of your heart. God has heard our every prayer, right? And it's a process, right? It's a pruning process. It's some things in you that God is working on that has to change, right? Because nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. Your person, your partner, your husband, your wife is not going to be perfect, but it has to line up in the right timing, right? And so I feel like where I am now, I'm in a better place mentally, emotionally, financially. I can't really say physically. I mean, I'm healthy, right? And so, yeah, I'm 43, which is considered older for getting married and starting a family. And this is something I've been, wanting for the last 20 years. But did I seriously want it? Right? And were there some things in my life that I didn't, I'm not gonna say didn't realize, but some things that God had to reveal to me. Let's put it like that. So when you go on a fast, God shows you. Like you can't be in dark and light at the same time. When you go on a fast, you can't hardly do nothing, right? And so I tried it again in January, and I only made it like 7 days. And so I called a couple of my girlfriends, and I was just like, y'all, I'm driving myself crazy. Because it's like when you're fasting, you basically removing everything because you're dying to self. Your flesh is dying. And when you remove your sins, you remove your toxic behavior and ways and unhealthy habits, you're supposed to fill that back up with the things of God, reading the word, praying, spending time with the Lord, right? And so fasting is good, but also we can turn anything into an idol. Fasting can become an idol. Wanting to be married can become an idol. Your partner can become an idol. Dating can become an idol. And so I learned a lot on that fast. I learned a lot about idolatry, and I had to go through my house and start trying to throw out things that God doesn't like. That's idolatry, right? And this is another topic for another day, right? As I continue to grow in this channel. Exactly, right? But I told my friends, I'm driving myself crazy. I'm over here lonely, and I'm saying, okay, God, help me. And I just said, you know what? I said to God, I got so frustrated one day, and I pretty much just quit. And I just said, God, I don't know what I'm doing. And God, I'm trying, I'm really trying. Yeah. It was like that cold turkey of giving up stuff, right? And that's why I think some people wean themselves off of things, because that cold turkey, sometimes you'll just go right back, right? And so anyway, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying without me saying everything that I'm saying. And so where I am now, I'm just wanting to be obedient to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect, wanting to still draw closer to God, wanting to have more time with God. On this last 7-day fast, I did meet somebody, and he's a really nice guy. Right now we're friends. We've gone out a couple times, and he loved Jesus. It's different. We all say we a Christian and a believer, but, he's been through some things and he's overcome some things. And I'm just like, okay, Lord, is this maybe, could be. But I the first time we got together, I visited his church. And I like watching to see a man worship God. It was just nice to see. He'll probably see this video one day. If I show him my YouTube channel. But that was a turn on. Not in a sexual way. But to be able to watch a man who his heart is for God. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of men out here, they might be in the church, but I don't know. There could be some women. It could have been me sometime, right? You're in the church, but then is your life outside of the church lining up? Because God sees it all. We can trick people, but we can't trick God. And one of my prayers end of last year was, Lord, I want my personal life offline to be the same as it is online. I don't want nobody to ever say, you was talking about God online and then I saw you at the club drunk backing it up. I'm just saying. So in the short video that I'm going to post later, I was saying when you're praying, you want a man of God, you want a woman of God, you want to be a man of God, you want to be a woman of God. Nobody's perfect. And then you meet somebody and it's just like, am I lining up with that? Do I match that? So it just makes you have to take inventory of yourself. We can want and want and want all day. Like I always use the example about losing weight. We got to have discipline. If we really want to make a change in our life, we got to have discipline, right? Whew, y'all. Anyway, hope y'all like this Embrace You with Dr. Rae show / PR / podcast / talk show. I love you guys, and let me know what you think. It's Saturday night, January 20th. Dr. Rae signing off. God bless and good night.